Jair Alexander, Elton Jenkins, Luke Musgrave, Christian Watson, Devontae Wyatt, Kenny Clark did not participate. And limited were Edgerrin Cooper, Jordan Love, Jordan Morgan, and Carrington Valentine.
I think it was maybe last year when you were asked what Aaron Donald was like game planning against him, and I think you said it makes you want to cry. So what are your emotions having to face a defense? Kind of not a serious question, but facing a defense without him, obviously it's a legendary guy.
Yeah, he is one-on-one. There's not too many guys that can wreck a game like he can, but I have been impressed by this group. I mean, they're a lot younger up front. I think they do a really good job with a lot of their pick games. They obviously, the effort stands out across the board, not only on their defense but on their offense as well. So, and I know they're well coached. So, you know, we're going to have to continue to make improvements along in every phase of the game.
Pat, did you guys open the window for Jonathan Ford today?
We did.
What do you think he could do eventually?
We'll see. I mean, he hasn't practiced in a while, so.
What have you thought of the way that the Rams have kind of gotten around all the receiver issues?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, when you lose your top two guys and two guys that are premier receivers in this league, but, you know, they still got the guy delivering the football that's one of the best in the business. So Matthew Stafford, got so much respect for him and what he's able to accomplish. He can make any throw. He's tougher than crap. He can stand in there and he can take a beating. And so we got to make sure that we get after him as best we can.
Now, what would it do for you guys to get Carrington back? He was playing pretty well when you lost him.
Yeah, that'd be huge, just for, I mean, our overall depth. But I do think CV's got a high ceiling, and I think we're all excited about just the progress that we saw him make throughout the course of the offseason. I know he missed, you know, most of the preseason, and obviously going out here, that's not ideal. But I think he was playing some good ball, and we can't wait to get him back.
Is that rest day for Jenkins or something else there?
No. He's got a knee.
I know it's only one practice, but have you seen Wicks respond in the way you would hope from maybe the way things went for him on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, it was certainly, there were some good moments for him. And I just think for all our players, not just Wicks, all our guys, we're just looking for more consistency, I think, across the board. And so how do you get that? It starts on a daily basis. It starts by how you come in each and every day, how you practice, how you prepare. And I think he's well aware of that, and I think he's going to embrace this. And but I'm excited about him and what he can become, because we all see the talent. I mean, he is he's tough to guard on the line of scrimmage. And I know what he's capable of doing. We just got to get it out on a consistent basis.
Do you think drops are a physical issue versus a mental one?
I think it's much more mental than it is to physical, because we've seen him be able to catch the ball and make some great catches. And, I mean, shoot, even that bubble screen he caught, or when we threw it on the behind motion where he caught in the backfield, he got 13 yards on that. Not many guys are going to get that type of a gain in that situation, and that just speaks to the type of movement skills he has. I mean, he is really good with the ball in his hands, and we've got complete confidence that he's going to go out there. And I mean, even early on, I can't remember which game it was, he dropped the ball, and I said, "Hey, man, we're going to come right back to you." I mean, that's just the mentality we have and the confidence and belief that we have in him.
Is there typically anything going on when the ball comes out low out of Love's hand and even some of the lower throws? Is that a mechanical thing, or is it?
Could be sometimes. I mean, you know, I think that's a byproduct of not practicing for a couple weeks. I thought just in our limited practice today, I thought he did a really nice job. It looks like he's just getting back into the groove. And like I mentioned the other day, I mean, not that we want to throw 50 some odd times in a game, but I thought the more we threw, the better he got. And just, it's kind of working through it. And, you know, it's hard to go out there and when you just don't have a lot of practice or you have a lot of time off and expect to be at the top of your game. I think it's a process, and I know he's doing everything in his power, and I think he looks better with each and every day.
Sure, you're watching a lot more tape on their defense, but on the Rams offense, Logan Bruss at guards, a guy that grew up playing football here. What have you seen from him and what he brings to them?
Yeah, he's going to compete and work his butt off. I think just overall, I think the offense, I mean, obviously, I'm not trying to be biased here, but knowing the guys that are kind of calling the shots over there, Sean and my brother, and, you know, I got a lot of respect for the scheme that they run, and I think Logan's done a nice job within that scheme.
Speaking of that, you obviously had a year as the coordinator under Sean, and even though he calls the plays, what did that do for you, and what do you think it's doing for Mike to be in that role?
Yeah, I think it was a great year of growth and development for me, just to kind of be the assist man for Sean, and he just, you know, he is as detailed as anybody that I've been around in terms of just offensive football in general, just knowing what all 11 are going to do on every play. So I think it was a great year of growth and development, and certainly our history went back to Washington, and we kind of grew up in this game together, I would say. But it was a lot of fun, and there were some less than fun moments too, as you can imagine when you're really close with somebody. It's like two brothers at times wanting to fight each other, but at the end of the day, like it's, you know, he's like family to me.
When you got here in 19, it felt like we were talking about this guy that you coached with and this guy. It was almost constant. Has the novelty worn off a little bit, and is it different now when you?
Yeah, I don't even really think about it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's the next game, and you know, this league, I think the longer you're in it, the smaller it is, because you get to know everybody, and so inevitably you're going to go against somebody that you really care about, typically on a weekly basis. There's very few times that, you know, you care as much. And certainly I got one sibling, and having my brother there, and then Sean is like a brother to me. So, you know, it's crazy to think about how many times I've had to go against these guys over the course of my tenure here. It seems like every year we're playing one of those guys. So
You've gotten to play them a lot here, often when it's cold. Do you think Sean's looking forward to getting you out there when it's 90+ degrees?
Oh yeah, I heard about that in the off season. So, yeah, it is what it is. But no, we're excited about it.
Matt, what do you do to lessen penalties?
A lot of things. I think number one is you got to be aware of what your issues are, and certainly we've had a lot of pre-snap penalties. So to me, that comes down to the focus, and you got to be able to really try to put our guys in uncomfortable situations in practice to make sure they're dialed in, to make sure that we're working the cadence the right way on both sides of the ball. And then the second part of that is there's going to be things that happen within a game, but you just want to make sure your fundamentals are up to the standard that we need so that guys react the right way so they don't get out of position to put themselves in a bad position to get called for penalties. And I think that's some of it as well. So there's a lot that we can do, I think, that to help get that corrected.
Love being back this past week, is there any added continuity compared to the previous weeks when you didn't know what his status was going to be on the offensive side?
No, I think we had a pretty clear indication of where every game plan was going. So, you know, no.
Regarding the holding penalties on the offensive line, so, you know, the first week 2 and 3 you ran a ton of times. Do you find that there's more because of what you were doing there that led to more holding calls, or do you find that most of them are pass protection? Do you see it happening with all the pulling you're doing, all the moving targets?
Yeah, we got to make sure our aiming points are on point and our technique is good, and we're not getting in, again, a bad body position, and that starts with your aiming points and then making sure your hands are inside. you know, whether it's run or pass, to me, it doesn't matter. You got to put yourself in the best position possible. And certainly, I told you, I've said this a bunch now, like, we never want to throw the ball 50 times in a game. It's just, that's not what, at least, I don't think that is conducive to having consistent winning football. I think the more balanced you are, the better the chances are that you keep people off balance on the other side of the football. So we're gonna try to be as balanced as possible. Now, there are certain games that you got to do whatever you got to do to win and move the football. So sometimes there are those outlier games where you have to adjust and you're having success one way or the other, and then you ride that. But for the most part, we want to be as balanced as possible. But I don't think that has any like difference in terms of how many penalties you're going to get.
Matt, whatever the timeline is for Christian, do you feel like you can at least avoid IR with him?
Absolutely, yeah. I think he's, just talking to him today, I think we got lucky. We dodged a real bullet there in terms of, because it looked pretty ugly. I mean, similar to, I feel like we got lucky with Jordan as well early in, you know, in that Philly, at the end of the Philly game. But yeah, he seems to be, and he's definitely in good spirits, and he's going to do whatever he can to get back as soon as he can.
The same with Wyatt. Do you think you can at least avoid IR with
I
him?
think we got to wait to figure out a couple more days to see where he's at. But he seems to be just, you know, his personality and everything, it seems to be normal. So I'm hoping for the best with that one as well.